Imagine waking up to discover your entire ancient vampire legacy is about to be wiped out by a human baby. Count Dracula is low-key freaking out because his precious daughter is threatening to take his grandkid away forever. What starts as a wholesome monster wedding quickly turns into a wild, high-stakes battle for the ultimate bloodline. The legendary Hotel Transylvania is buzzing with insane energy as everyone gathers to witness Mavis and Johnny tie the knot. Johnny's goofy human family is trying their best to fit in, while Griffin lies about having a hot invisible girlfriend. Drac pulls his daughter aside to make sure this wedding is everything she ever dreamed of. Mavis wonders why her old-school grandpa Vlad wasn't invited, but Drac knows Vlad would have straight-up devoured Johnny. Drac serenades Mavis with a heartfelt song, finally accepting that his little girl is officially married. The Dark Prince promises that true love means opening his heart to humans, setting his old biases aside. Some time later, Mavis drops a subtle hint asking her dad to go for a midnight flight around the castle. Drac is totally hyped to relive the good old days and fly through the night sky with his daughter. He even jokes that he would happily eat garlic just to spend quality airtime with her. They zoom up into the night sky, soaring past massive fluffy clouds while playing their favorite childhood games. Suddenly Mavis slows down, admitting it is getting way harder to breathe because she is actually pregnant. Drac absolutely loses his mind with excitement, screaming to the world that he is finally going to be a grandpa. During her pregnancy, Mavis starts getting cooked-up cravings like ice cream topped with salty anchovies. Drac immediately steps in with unsolicited vampire advice, telling her to eat live spiders so the baby can crawl on walls. Mavis admits she would be totally happy if her baby turned out completely human like Johnny. Drac scoffs at the thought, convinced his dominant ancient vampire genes will easily win the genetic lottery. When Mavis goes into labor, the strict hospital nurse kicks Drac out of the delivery room. Minutes later, a baby boy named Dennis is born, and Drac declares the Dracula legacy officially saved. He cradles the newborn baby, promising that no harm will ever come to his little devil dog. Johnny asks if he can hold his own son, but the nurse hilariously snatches the kid back. Fast forward 1 year, and little Dennis is already celebrating his first big birthday. The monster squad shows up to shower the toddler with chaotic and dangerous gifts. They give him heavy, super cursed golden bling directly from an ancient tomb. Drac insists on calling him Denisovich, secretly praying that the boy grows into his vampire lineage. Johnny notes that the kid still looks totally human, but Drac panics and claims fangs can take up to 5 years to pop out. Drac points out how well Dennis plays with Wayne's feral werewolf puppies as proof of his monster nature. Frankenstein hands over a wildly unsafe toy called My First Guillotine as an educational gift. Mavis immediately insists on baby-proofing the lethal blade, driving Drac insane with her modern parenting. Drac complains that getting a minor injury from an execution blade is supposed to build character. Suddenly Mavis gasps in excitement because Dennis is about to say his very first word. Instead of saying "Mama" or "Dada," the toddler repeats Drac's iconic phrase, "Blah, blah blah." Drac tries to play it off as a coincidence while secretly prying open the kid's mouth to check for fong sprouts. Meanwhile, around the hotel, Drac is struggling to adapt to modern technology and human guests. Johnny tries to convince Drac that using social media is low-key the best way to promote the hotel. Johnny pitches new ideas in his official role as the newly hired human relations manager. He suggests updating the hotel's entertainment acts so human tourists do not get bored. Johnny argues that the old monster acts are way too outdated for modern audiences. Drac defends Harry Three-Eye, claiming his classic magic tricks are still absolute fire. Then Johnny tries to teach Wayne the werewolf how to play proper tennis instead of chasing balls. Drac gets instantly spooked when his brand new smartphone starts buzzing in his pocket. Johnny explains that it is just a touchscreen phone meant to help Drac stay connected. He tries to show Drac how to type a simple text message back using his massive sharp claws. Drac struggles furiously with the touchscreen, constantly tapping the wrong buttons. Johnny demonstrates by texting Mavis that he is hyped for their romantic evening. Mavis instantly texts back that she has to cancel because she cannot leave Dennis alone. Johnny despairs, wondering if they will ever get a private moment away from their son again. Drac mocks Johnny's emotional dramatic text, calling him completely pathetic. Later that night, Drac sneaks into Dennis's room to give him a private vampire training session. Dennis wakes up and innocently rambles about dreaming of a giant Stegosaurus dinosaur. Drac desperately tries to steer the conversation into something dark and vampiric. He promises to teach Dennis main character energy by showing him how to shape-shift into a bat. Drac transforms instantly and urges the toddler to feel his inner monster power. Instead of flying, Dennis starts flapping his arms like a chicken and doing a silly dance. Mavis walks in on the mid-dance and demands to know why her son is staying up so late. Drac quickly lies on the spot, claiming the boy was just sleep dancing in his sleep. Mavis puts Dennis to bed, explaining he has a strict human sleep schedule for daytime classes. Drac tries to guilt-trip her, reminding her that Wayne's werewolf pups are throwing a party tonight. Mavis worries that the rough monster kids might accidentally hurt her delicate human-like boy. Drac gets offended by the implication that his grandson cannot handle hanging out with real monsters. Dennis eagerly pulls out a tablet to show his grandfather his favorite monster TV show. To Drac's absolute horror, the show features Keiki, a soft television monster who preaches sharing cake. Drac is utterly disgusted that modern kids think monsters are sweet and gentle. Mavis tells her dad to stop forcing the vampire identity on Dennis since his 5th birthday is fast approaching. Mavis sings a soft, peaceful human lullaby to put her son to sleep. Dennis insists he is getting way too big for boring baby lullabies. Drac takes over and sings the terrifying gory nightmare song he used to sing to Mavis. Surprisingly, the gruesome lyrics immediately soothe Dennis and send him straight to sleep. Later at the wolf pup birthday party, Winnie aggressively tackles Dennis, obsessed with his soft red hair. Wayne tells his wild daughter to calm down and give the young boy some breathing room. Mavis spots a party game and gets totally hyper, forgetting her motherly stress for a second. She tries to stop a candy piñata massacre, but the wild wolf pups go totally feral. Drac gasps when Dennis pops up holding a knocked-out tooth, thinking his fangs are finally coming in. He celebrates prematurely, convinced that losing a tooth means the real monster Fong is sprouting. Mavis shuts him down instantly, pointing out it was just a normal baby tooth that fell out. Mavis grabs Dennis, deciding it is time to wrap up and head home before sunrise. She drops a massive bombshell on Drac, revealing they are thinking of moving away to California permanently. Drac stares in utter betrayal, realizing Johnny might be secretly helping Mavis plan their permanent escape. Drac is low-key spiraling because Mavis dropped a bombshell about moving her family out of Transylvania. The squad finds Drac pacing in his room, totally panicking over Dennis losing his monster roots. Drac insists the kid just needs time, refusing to accept that Dennis might actually be human. He cooks up a wild plan to show Dennis the ropes of true fright before it is too late. The clock is ticking because if Dennis does not grow fangs by 5, it is totally game over. Drac sneaks outside to recruit Johnny into his super-secretive operation. Johnny is down with the plan because he wants to stay at the hotel just as bad. Mavis hits Drac with an insanely hyper-detailed care routine for Dennis before she leaves. She even expects Drac to read educational human books to the boy every single night. Drac pretends to support their trip to California just so he can get Dennis all to himself. Mavis trusts her dad completely, totally oblivious to the chaotic boot camp he is planning. Drac makes a fake promise to keep Dennis safe while secretly locked into his master plan. Drac instructs Johnny to keep Mavis busy in California without giving away the scheme. As soon as Mavis is gone, Drac gathers the whole monster crew for a high-stakes road trip. The squad gets packed into the car, cracking jokes about their less-than-scary bodies. Griffin pretends to kiss an invisible girlfriend, giving ultimate delusional energy. The monsters roll their eyes as Griffin continues his embarrassing imaginary romance. Drac rushes everyone into the hearse before they run out of precious time. Installing a human car seat turns out to be a nightmare for a guy with massive vampire claws. They end up stuffing Blobby onto a rascal scooter because the car is totally overflowing. Drac hypes up Dennis for what he promises will be the ultimate monster road trip. Dennis hits Drac with cute little toddler rules that totally ruin the terrifying mood. Drac realizes this kid has been heavily brainwashed by wholesome human television shows. Frank suggests bringing in Vlad, but Drac refuses to involve his scary old-school dad. Drac vows to unleash Dennis's inner beast the moment night falls upon them. He gets instantly annoyed when the monsters start singing happy pop songs in the car. Wayne puts in an audiobook read by Bigfoot himself, killing the suspenseful vibe. Meanwhile, Johnny is trying his absolute best to keep Mavis distracted on the road. Johnny promises to show Mavis all the spots from his childhood in California. Johnny convinces Mavis not to call home so Drac can execute his secret training. Drac wakes Dennis up as they arrive at their very first legendary monster haunt. They pull up to the dark forest of Slobozia, where the crew used to terrorize locals. Drac orders Frankenstein to step up first and demonstrate a terrifying scare. Frank is low-key skeptical, but he steps up to give it his best shot anyway. Drac promises Dennis that Frankenstein is about to give him a masterclass in horror. Instead of screaming in terror, random humans just ask Frank to pose for a selfie. Drac tries to cope with the embarrassing failure, pretending it was a good lesson. Dennis tells Drac that he wants the absolute coolest cape-wearing hero on his birthday cake. Drac thinks Dennis is finally talking about vampires, getting his hopes up insanely high. Dennis crushes Drac's soul by revealing his absolute favorite hero is actually Batman. Desperate for results, Drac orders Wayne the werewolf to hunt down live prey. Drac believes a bloody werewolf hunt will finally awaken Dennis's dormant monster DNA. Dennis offers Wayne an avocado instead, completely missing the terrifying point. Wayne admits he has lost his edge and prefers eating human snacks like Pop-Tarts now. Drac forces Wayne to go after a cute little deer in the forest. Wayne groans as he forces himself to attempt a fierce predatory growl. Wayne fails miserably, sounding more like a sleepy puppy than a bloodthirsty werewolf. Drac roasts Wayne for being completely cooked and unable to scare a fly. Instead of hunting, Wayne ends up aggressively playing fetch with Blobby over a frisbee. Meanwhile, Mavis and Johnny arrive in California and look for late-night entertainment. Mavis experiences a convenience store for the first time, completely mind-blown by the chips. She mistakes a Slurpee machine for a magical glowing fountain of rubies. Johnny informs her that human slushies come in 48 mind-boggling flavors. Mavis sees the security camera footage and thinks they are starring in a live television show. She waves enthusiastically at the camera, giving full chaotic main character energy. They run into a human who accidentally makes a vampire joke without realizing who Mavis is. The human casually mentions loving vampire cereal, leaving Mavis totally amused. Back on the road trip, Drac hypes up Murray the Mummy to show off his ancient dark magic. Drac tells Dennis that putting curses on people is just good wholesome monster fun. Murray steps up to summon an apocalyptic sandstorm that will shock the kid. Murray boasts to the squad that his demonic spell is going to blow them all away. Murray throws his back out mid-chant and produces a pitiful tiny pile of sand. Out in California, Mavis spots a local bike park filled with human kids. Johnny tries to warn her that stunt bikes are dangerous, but Mavis ignores him. Johnny flexes his basic bike skills, boasting about his childhood days. Johnny tells her it took him years to master riding a bicycle. Mavis grabs a bike and performs gravity-defying vampire tricks, making the crowd go wild. The local kids are completely stunned by her insane superhuman stunt moves. A human kid confuses Transylvania with Pennsylvania, making Mavis laugh. Mavis starts thinking California might actually be the ultimate place to raise Dennis. She decides to video chat home to check in on her little boy. Meanwhile, Drac realizes that modern monsters have completely lost their terrifying edge. The squad boasts about their modern accomplishments, like workout videos and sports leagues. Drac is absolutely sickened that even Bigfoot is playing professional German soccer now. Drac's phone rings with Mavis's video call, throwing him into an absolute panic mode. Drac frantically scrambles on the phone with Mavis, pretending everything back home is totally normal. Mavis instantly gets suspicious and demands to see her baby boy right this second. Drac slaps a pair of cheap sunglasses onto Dennis to hide his toddler bags and exhaustion. Drac fakes static over the call to hang up before Mavis spots the obvious cap. Drac boasts to his squad that his terrible cover story actually worked on his daughter. Panic hits Drac hard when he realizes Mavis is low-key loving her relaxed California trip. Drac decides it is time for extreme measures to activate Dennis's inner monster genes. Little Dennis innocently asks a deeply emotional question that catches Drac totally off guard. Drac reflects on his past love with a rare moment of genuine vulnerability. Drac slyly brings up Winnie to see if Dennis has any romantic vampire sparks brewing. Dennis drops the ultimate friend-zone response, completely crushing Drac's vamp fantasy. Griffin almost crashes their ride after totally missing the turnoff off the highway. Drac promises the squad that his grandson will be acting like a true creature of the night by sunrise. The squad finally pulls up to the legendary vamp location Drac has hyped up for miles. Drac introduces Camp Winnepecaca as the hardcore training ground of his childhood. Frank scoffs at the bizarre name of the camp while looking around at the vintage vibes. Drac brags about how he learned to hunt live prey and shape-shift on these very grounds. An overly cheerful camp director greets the squad with major wholesome counselor energy. Dana immediately notices that Dennis looks entirely like a normal human kid. Drac defensively jumps in to protect Dennis's monster street cred. Drac is absolutely horrified to find out real mouse hunting has been replaced by soft minigames. Dana explains that modern monster parenting is all about positive reinforcement now. Drac spots the historic flight tower where he first earned his bat wings. Dennis gets completely caught up in the hype, wanting to mimic his grandpa. Dana reveals the original high tower was demolished due to extreme safety liabilities. The camp director wanders off, completely oblivious to the wild scheme Drac is cooking up. Meanwhile in California, Mavis tries to navigate normal human lifestyle habits. Johnny's mother aggressively pushes human accessories onto Mavis to help her fit in. Linda shows off a hilariously cringe room setup meant to look spooky. Linda accidentally blurts out dark monster stereotypes while trying to act completely progressive. Linda gathers human-monster neighborhood couples to prove how diverse the suburb is. The neighbors try to act chill while low-key exposing how microaggressive people actually are. Paul gets totally offended when Linda misidentifies his actual monster identity. Mavis stands there feeling completely alienated by the awkward, forced social encounter. Back at camp, the young vamps sing a soft, upbeat friendship song around the fire. Drac rants about how corporate and sensitive the modern monster world has become. Drac sneaks Dennis up to the dangerously high, abandoned flight tower. Frank warns Drac that the rotting wooden structure looks ready to collapse. Drac insists that extreme survival instincts are the only way to awaken Dennis's wings. Dennis cheers excitedly, completely unaware of the terrifying freefall ahead. Drac holds the toddler out over a terrifying drop with zero safety nets. The entire squad turns their heads away in pure horror as Drac drops Dennis into the void. Dennis drops like a stone while Drac keeps waiting for wings to magically appear. Drac stubbornly copes, denying the reality of the situation as the ground approaches fast. Pure panic sets in among the squad as Dennis reaches terminal velocity. Drac swoops down at the last split second, catching Dennis inches from disaster. Adrenaline-fueled Dennis loves the chaotic ride and begs for another turn. Dana catches them in the act and goes into full legal meltdown mode. The director threatens to turn Drac in for severe child endangerment. Drac claps back with major disrespect, completely unbothered by the warning. The rest of the squad backs off, refusing to get locked up for Drac's extreme stunt. Dana pulls out his phone to blow the whistle straight to Mavis. Drac freezes in utter terror knowing Mavis will destroy him if she finds out. Drac attempts to hypnotize the director, but Dana's lazy eye breaks the magic spell. In the chaotic struggle, the entire wooden tower catches fire and explodes into flames. Drac gaslights the director, blaming bad maintenance for the raging inferno. Drac grabs Dennis and dashes off into the night to escape the chaos. Meanwhile, Mavis reflects on how different her childhood was compared to Johnny's. Johnny gives Mavis maximum reassurance, telling her she is an incredible mother. Mavis starts coming to terms with leaving Transylvania for good. Johnny's buddy texts him a wild viral clip blowing up all over the internet. Johnny looks at the screen in horror as he sees Dennis falling off a burning tower. Johnny instantly wipes the video file before Mavis can catch a glimpse. Mavis calls Drac with an icy tone that signals pure upcoming doom. Drac tries to play it off cool while fire truck sirens wail in the background. Innocent Dennis blurts out the exact truth right into the receiver. Mavis completely loses her cool and orders Drac to be back home instantly. Drac realizes their getaway car was destroyed in the campfire disaster. Griffin reveals he called in Blobby to be their ultimate emergency transport. Mavis and Johnny hit major flight delays trying to rush back across the globe. Drac's squad gets stuck on a tiny electric scooter miles away from the hotel. Frank blows massive air gusts to rocket the squad through the sky. Mavis confronts Drac in the lobby with absolute main character aura. Mavis plays back the viral video proof, totally exposing Drac's lies. Mavis drops the hammer, declaring they are moving away right after the birthday party. Mavis delivers a devastating truth, calling out Drac's hidden prejudice. Dennis secretly tries to force himself to shape-shift in his room so they don't have to leave. Dennis asks his mom if he is the sole reason their family is getting torn away. Just when Drac thinks the moving drama is under control, Mavis drops an absolute bomb that changes everything. Mavis reminisces about her family history and casually reveals that she sent an invite to her old-school vampire grandfather. Drac instantly freezes up because his dad Vlad is an ancient human-hating beast who is low-key terrified of change. Mavis just wants Dennis to meet his great-grandpa before they move away to California for good. Meanwhile, deep in a dark bat cave, old head Count Vlad gets the invitation and is shook to find out he has a great-grandson. Vlad's savage gargoyle henchman Bella instantly starts buzzing with toxic energy at the thought of a hotel. Vlad tells his monstrous sidekick to chill out because he thinks his son Drac raised Dennis to be a cold-blooded killer. Drac realizes he is completely cooked if Vlad finds out Johnny and his family are literal humans. In a total panic, Drac cooks up a fake story and orders the whole birthday crew to turn Dennis's party into a monster masquerade. Mavis thinks it is just a fun spooky party, but Drac is fighting for his life behind the scenes. When Vlad and Bella land at the hotel, Bella's crazy senses pick up human scent immediately. Vlad orders Bella to stay outside so he does not ruin the family reunion with his weird aggressive energy. Vlad is hyped to meet his bloodline, expecting a terrifying little vampire prince to greet him. Drac forces Johnny to put on a bootleg online vampire outfit, and the look is giving total cringe. Johnny looks so ridiculously fake that Drac almost loses his mind roasting him on the spot. Johnny tries practicing his dark vampire voice, but he sounds like a straight-up goofball. To make matters worse, the performer dressed as Dennis's favorite TV character Kiki pulls up to the party. Vlad walks into the grand ballroom and immediately roasts Drac for giving up his Dark Lord throne to run a hotel. Drac frantically orders the pack to keep his terrifying dad far away from Johnny's human family. Johnny's mom immediately insults the ancient vampire, giving massive main character energy without even knowing it. Frank tries to correct Vlad on monster lore, but the old vampire does not give a single care. Murray the mummy instantly folds under Vlad's terrifying aura and begs for his life. Vlad looks at Drac's modern friends like they are an absolute joke. Vlad dismisses the nonsense and demands to meet his great-grandson right now. Johnny steps up trying to act all mysterious, but his fake vampire persona is ultra-fake. Vlad gets suspicious when Johnny stumbles over classic spooky nursery rhymes. Vlad picks up Dennis and starts inspecting his head like a weird alien artifact. Vlad demands to see the kid's fangs, and the tension in the room hits an absolute boiling point. Drac quickly lies through his teeth, swearing Dennis is just taking his sweet time to sprout fangs. Vlad totally exposes Drac's embarrassing childhood secrets in front of the entire party. Vlad insists that the only way to kickstart a kid's fangs is to scare the living daylights out of them. Vlad's dark plan is to mind control Dennis's favorite character and turn him into a nightmare monster. Drac goes along with the wild idea because he is desperate to prove Dennis is a vampire. The cakey actor is totally confused as Vlad prepares to possess his mind right on stage. Drac hypes up the boys, thinking this terrifying stunt is their last chance to keep Dennis at the hotel. Kiki walks onto stage doing his cheerful dance before things go completely dark. Suddenly Vlad's demonic power lifts the performer into the air as dark magic possesses him. Kiki transforms into a giant terrifying demon shouting terrifying threats at the helpless kids. Dennis is low-key traumatized, shaking in fear as the monster looms right over him. Drac realizes he crossed a massive line, snapping out of it and blasting Kiki back to normal. Mavis steps in furious, realizing Drac betrayed her trust again just to force fangs on her son. Mavis lays down the ultimate truth, declaring that forcing Dennis to be something he isn't is totally toxic. The whole party breaks down into chaotic arguing as the family secrets burst wide open. Mavis yells that Dennis is human and accepts him for exactly who he is. Drac tries to argue back, but Mavis shuts down his outdated mindset for good. She announces that they are leaving for California immediately, leaving Drac completely heartbroken. Overwhelmed by all the shouting, little Dennis quietly slips away out into the dark night. Winnie the werewolf girl follows him into the spooky forest to keep him safe from harm. Back at the party, Johnny squares up against ancient Vlad like an absolute king. Vlad finally realizes Johnny and his whole family are regular humans and loses his mind. Vlad feels completely betrayed, acting like his son shattered the entire vampire legacy. Drac stands his ground, defending his human family and proving how much he has grown. Drac tells Vlad that Dennis is special no matter what, and if Vlad cannot see that, he is the real fool. Suddenly Mavis notices Dennis is missing from the room, triggering an instant panic. The whole monster squad mobilizes into full detective mode to find the lost boy. Out in the woods, Dennis tells Winnie that he feels like a massive disappointment for being human. He is sad that he has to leave his home, but Winnie tries her best to comfort him. Winnie reassures Dennis that he is the sweetest boy ever and does not need fangs to be amazing. Suddenly Bella swoops down from the trees like a terrifying predator, cornering the kids. Bella captures Winnie and threatens to destroy the hotel because monsters are befriending humans. Bella's massive gargoyle squad surrounds the forest ready to annihilate everything. Dennis tries to stand up to the giant bat, warning him that hurting his family is a massive mistake. Bella mocks Dennis and violently shoves Winnie to the ground, hurting her. Drac and the family sprint through the forest, hearing the confrontation in the distance. Seeing his best friend hurt snaps something inside Dennis, unlocking pure main character energy. Dennis's eyes glow bright red, sharp fangs pop out, and his true vampire power awakens. Dennis unleashes a massive super vampire roar that sends shockwaves through the forest. Dennis flies through the air at light speed, taking down Bella's entire gargoyle army single-handedly. Drac arrives right in time to see Dennis land like an ultimate badass superhero. Dennis hugs Drac, proud that he finally got his fangs, but Drac reminds him he was always perfect. When Bella tries one last sneaky attack, Vlad steps in, shrinks Bella down, and banishes him forever. Vlad accepts Dennis and the human family, finally letting go of his ancient toxic ways. With Dennis officially being a vampire, Mavis and Johnny decide to stay at Hotel Transylvania forever. The whole crew heads back to throw the ultimate dance party celebration of the century. And that wraps up the legendary journey of Hotel Transylvania 2, showing that family always comes first no matter what. If you love this intense breakdown and want more high-octane movie recaps, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment down below with your favorite monster from the movie and tell me what film we should cover next. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another epic video. Thanks for watching, stay awesome, and I will catch you in the next recap.